Good evening, everyone. My name is Gulshan Memoria. I'm the CEO and the founder of Inspiredvalley. We have started this initiative for the sole purpose of connecting with the best minds in the academic world and brainstorm on some of the key topics that will add value to the educational fraternity and to enrich themselves by listening to those new ideas and various suggestions. So every week we connect with the best minds in the educational world and discuss on some of the different topics. This time we have topic of how to enhance student engagement through technology. So let me introduce the panel to you. The very first speaker that we have is Miss Neha Mathur. She is the principal at Euro International School, Jodhpur. Next, we have Miss Manjusha Tripathi. She is the principal at Shri Ram Global School, Whitefield, Bangalore. Next, we have Miss Manisha Sharma. She is the principal of PRJ Gyanajaya SS School, Ajmer. Next, we have Miss Sarita Gomes, head principal at Marwari Vidyalaya High School, Mumbai. We've also, next speaker that we have is Mr. Narender Kumar. He is the PGT Physics, Birla School Pilani, and he is also the NCERT Counsellor. I welcome you everyone. Okay, let me ask the very first question with Neha. Neha ma'am, right now currently there are many applications that technological tools are there right in the market. Before COVID as well and after COVID, there's a drastic increase in the number of technological tools. So what are some key consideration factors which you include and which you think, okay, before introducing this technology in my school, okay, these are the factors that I should be considered before going on and before applying in my school?
All right. Very good evening, everyone. So it's a very interesting question, and I think the first thing that comes to mind of any person who's supposed to choose the technology, the ET tool or the platform. So number one is ease of use.
Okay.
The tool or the platform that we are all choosing should be convenient for the teachers, for the students, also for the parents, right? Because the parents have to provide after school support if, let's say, you're giving out the homework there. So it should be convenient. The user interface should be the UI should be very user friendly. Number
Okay.
one. Number two, the pedagogical considerations, right? So the
Hmm.
ET tool should align with our LOs, our learning objectives, and the teaching strategies. As in, these days, it is not about chalk and talk anymore, right? We all
Exactly.
focus on active learning. So the tool should support the student-centric approach and should give enough opportunities for collaboration and interaction. The tool has
Okay.
to be interactive so that everyone enjoys. It's ultimately about student engagement, right? So students feel engaged if the tool gives scope for collaboration and interaction. The next point is technical considerations, right? Once we've seen the pedagogical angle and the ease of use, now we need to see whether the technology is compatible with the existing hardware and
Exactly.
software,
That's
the
hmm.
network bandwidth requirement, like it should be convenient for everyone who has a broadband or somebody may be stuck in a remote area where there's low mobile network. So the platform and the tool that we select should support all network band, should have minimal network bandwidth requirements. And the security, the number one feature these days is security, right? So there should be no
Exactly.
security loopholes and privacy. So the privacy of all the users who are going to use the tool or the platform, they're going to create their login credentials. So privacy is another concern. The next is the support and training, like the ET tool developers, what kind of support they provide. Do they provide enough training to the new users or the existing users? If they, let's say they've given out a new version or there's a new update, the new tools. So are there enough online resources and support material available for the users to conveniently be updated with all the advancements? Next is accessibility and inclusivity, right? Uh, uh, Now the classrooms are all inclusive. We have children with special needs and children with disabilities studying usually together in the same classroom. So the ET tool that or the platform that we choose should also support accessibility and should support inclusivity. Like it should have features like closed captioning, then text to speech. It should be compatible with the assistive technology,
Okay. I'm sure
right?
these are some of the very prominent factors. Paresh,
Yes.
I need some response from your side. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I can hear you, but I lost my connection. I had to
It's
restart my
absolutely
computer.
fine.
I didn't hear the question actually. I just joined in about a minute back.
It's absolutely fine. Let me read out the question to you. Before that, I should you can say I should introduce you. So he is Mr. Paresh Yadav. He is a co-founder of CerboTech Education Limited, and he's from Pune only. So he is having one of the technological tools, especially for the school childrens. So Paresh, my question was like there are a lot of technological tools are available in the market, right? So what kind of like how the school principals can select, okay, these tools are suitable for my children or these tools are suitable for my school. So I'm sure that being a technological company, you're also providing some technological tool to the school, right, to improve a certain aspect of the student's education, right? So before that, I mean, can you introduce about your company and how your company is actually helping the school ecosystem in that place?
Sure. So basically, let's look at a situation in a classroom. In a classroom, there are about 40 students. Now, 40 students, efforts put in by teacher on 40 students is same. We still have a child scoring 90% and we still have a child scoring 40%. Now, where is the difference coming in from? Difference comes in from something called as cognitive skills. So some kids would have a lower level of concentration, some kids would have a lower level of memory, some kids would have a different level of problem solving skills. So that makes a lot of difference. And there is a certain aspect of problem solving skills, there is a certain aspect of sleep patterns and all these aspects which makes a lot of difference in every child's performance. Could be performance. When I say about performance, I'm talking about academic performance, could be behavioral pattern of a child. So these all aspects are something which are very critical for a child to be a great human being, a great citizen for the country, or tomorrow a responsible person, for his family. So for all these aspects, these all aspects are very important. So that's where we come in. So we use concepts like technologies like neurotechnologies like brain-computer interface technology, and we apply this technology to first understand and measure the levels of cognitive skills. So now using this technology, we are able to acquire the brainwaves of a child and we are able to measure the brainwaves of a child and generate a proper report in terms of what is the child's concentration level, what is the child's memory level, stress level, depression level. So various parameters are measured for the child. And after measuring those parameters, we have certain programs which enhance these cognitive skills. So somebody is scoring what is the result of this? Somebody is scoring 40% reach to 60%. Somebody is scoring 90% might not reach to 95%, but at least their performance stress will get better. Their time management will get better. Their sleep patterns will get better. So it's a program that we designed for enhancing cognitive skills, for enhancing mental wellness of a child, and to ensure that that instigates self-improvement.
That's
so
wonderful.
Now this is how this entire program works across. So we use various concepts like, let's go back and see what technology has done across, how it is important. So let us go back to a few centuries back when we had concepts like ashrams and all. So what are these concepts where they get up early in the morning, sleep early, and there are concepts wherein you take a walk in the jungle, or you heard birds chirping. So now what are these birds chirping? There are certain sound patterns. There are certain sound waves that are coming in, and these sound waves that are there across are very important for every human being. Why children? Even for people of our ages. Somebody is 80 years old, somebody is 8 years old. For everyone, these certain sound waves are very important. Certain things that we see across in the jungle, certain colors that we see across, they're very important. So, but over the period of time, with the busy schedules that we have across, we have moved to cities. When we look out of our windows, we see other buildings, we see concrete jungles across everywhere. Now, with all this coming in, now the technology plays an important role. So now these sounds of bird chirping, or these sounds of these important sounds that are there across, these important frequencies, technology converts them. Technology brings those frequencies back into everybody's life. So today, a child basically for example, to just give an example, we ask the children to listen to music in the morning for about 15 minutes. Now, this music is like meditation. We all know meditation is important, but making children do meditation is a difficult job. We can't ask the children. We can't meditate. How can we expect the children to do meditation? So what we do is make the child listen to a music. In that music, we basically provide certain frequencies a certain nice soothing music to a child, that the child not only wakes up, the child becomes meditated, and the brain is ready for the entire day task. So technology, not only basically enhances cognitive skills, but technology plays a very important role in education systems today.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Now I need some response from Narendra sir and Manisha ma'am. Right? Manisha ma'am, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
ठीक है, मेरा ये क्वेश्चन है जो मुझे लगता है कि थोड़ा जेन्युइन भी है. अभी इतने सारे टूल्स हैं मार्केट के अंदर, मतलब टू बी वेरी फ्रैंक, अगर मैं आज ओपन करूं कि मुझे एक पर्टिकुलर स्किल सीखनी है, उस पर्टिकुलर स्किल के लिए भी मेरे पास में कम से कम 100 ऑप्शंस हैं. आई मीन विद दिस एप्लीकेशंस एज वेल एंड डिफरेंट वेबसाइट्स एज वेल. बट टीचर्स को या स्कूल इकोसिस्टम को कैसे पता चले कि यार ये जो एप्लीकेशन है ये मेरे स्टूडेंट्स के लिए बेनिफिशियल है? बिकॉज हर एक एप्लीकेशन एक लर्निंग कर्व ज़रूर होता है. आई एम श्योर दैट एवरीबडी विल एग्री. वो लर्निंग कर्व लाने में भी बहुत टाइम लगता है. सरिता मैम, एम आई राइट? राइट. तो वो कैसे आइडेंटिफाई करते हैं? मतलब उसके लिए एडटेक प्लेयर्स की आप हेल्प लेते हैं? मतलब हाउ दोज फैक्टर्स, I mean, is actually you are covering up, because then and now a new application is there. For an example, ChatGPT. सब लोगों ने ChatGPT का नाम सुना होगा, बहुत सारे लोग यूज़ भी करते होंगे, बट उसके इतने सारे यूज़ केसेस हैं, यानी उसके लिए प्रोबेबिलिटी मेथड से बहुत सारे हो जाएंगे, परमुटेशन कॉम्बिनेशन मेथड्स बहुत सारे हैं. आई मीन इवन वी डोंट नो कि उसकी कितनी लिमिटेशंस है यार, कितनी चीज़ें हम यूज़ कर सकते हैं. तो वो उसका एक अगेन लर्निंग कर्व है. सो हाउ टू ब्रिज दैट गैप? Anyone can give me a response by just clicking on that hand and I'll give you the podium. Anyone?
Yes sir, yes sir.
Yeah, Narendra sir, please.
सर मैं थोड़ा सा एक स्टेप पीछे चलता हूँ और बहुत अच्छे से देखिए, ये जो डिजिटल प्लेटफॉर्म है that has a relation of the technology and the education. और अगर हम बात करते हैं तो at all the level they are bi-directional. देखिए, एक्सटेंसिव यूज ऑफ टेक्नोलॉजी की जो हम बात कर रहे हैं, इसका सबसे बेनिफिट क्या है? दे रिमूव द लैंग्वेज बैरियर, इंक्रीज द एक्सेस फॉर, जैसे हम बात करते हैं चिल्ड्रन विद स्पेशल नीड्स के लिए, जो प्रॉब्लम आती थी एजुकेशन प्लानिंग में और मैनेजमेंट में, कहीं ना कहीं ये टूल लेके आते हैं. नाउ इंपॉर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट आता है टीचर्स पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से. जैसे मैं अपनी बात करता हूँ, अगर हम टेक्नोलॉजी को क्लासरूम में लेके आते हैं, वी आर यूजिंग फ्री एक्सेस डेक का बहुत अच्छा प्लेटफॉर्म है, वेयर वी teach the students O labs करके, physics, chemistry, biology, mathematics, language, science, computer, even social sciences subjects they are also added. तो कहीं ना कहीं टीचर का जो skill area that also needs to be trained. That is the important aspect.
Exactly.
Because once the teacher community is trained, then they are capable to deliver. NEP 2020 का अगर हम बात करते हैं ना, इक्विटेबल जो टेक्नोलॉजी की बात हो रही है सर, तो यहाँ बहुत ज्यादा थ्रस्ट दिया जाता है कि जो हमारे पास अभी जो आप चैट जीपीटी की बात कर रहे थे,
जी
लास्ट वीक आई हैव प्रेजेंटेड दिस. सो बिफोर प्रेजेंटेशन आई हैव गॉन थ्रू लॉट ऑफ डॉक्यूमेंट्स, देन कम टू वन कंक्लूजन कि व्हाई इट इज इंपॉर्टेंट एंड हाउ दिस टूल इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर द टीचर पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू. उसको एक क्रिएटिव वे में कैसे लेके आना है. तो कहीं ना कहीं एक एक्सप्लोरेशन स्किल को अपलिफ्ट करना और थोड़ा सा अनलर्न करने की एक रिक्वायरमेंट है इस प्लेटफॉर्म पे सर.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Yes.
Manisha ma'am, would you like to add any point on this topic? I believe you need to unmute yourself. Or should I move on to the next question? Should we? Just. Yeah, Sarita ma'am, please.
So I would like to add on, as Narendra sir said that yes, teachers need to be trained, but I feel there would be the best. We must even look into the interest of the children. How can technically we can build their interest towards to be techno savvy and use that platform. So like there are many such kind of games now. Children have already learned how to access the mobile phones, how to access the tablets, right? The Kindle is also coming. So there are many different ways. So getting them towards that needs more of motivation, where we give them good games interestingly, rather than following the old games to the app.
That motivation is required.
More. And even I believe when we become very monotonous that in the classroom only teacher and child can only be disciplined and strict and all these things. No, I believe the children should be comfortable and they can speak and come out with their ideas, playing games and learning. So audiovisual plays an important role in the being techno world this way. This is how I take it. Okay?
That's wonderful. Let me go to Manjusha ma'am. Manjusha ma'am, let me ask you your question. And this is a subsequent question, I would rather say.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, how can teachers use the gamification and game-based learning methods to increase the student engagement and motivation?
Yes, sir. When we come to this word gamification,
Hmm.
now gamification, as we all are aware, that it is a process where the children can use different modern technology like games, or you can say that strategy, which can enhance their learning capability. It's actually very easiest way by which they can get the problem solving skill also. And sometime if you see that social awareness also, what we are thinking कि children are getting, they have now cut down उनका जो social circle है
जी जी जी.
थोड़ा सा अलग हो रहे हैं उससे, और due to using this technology, but actually it is not. They, what is actually the mean of, even if we are talking about my topic, my question, that how the teachers can use it frequently in the class to enhance the learning process. So there are, in fact, when we are using this online platform during corona time, so it was new for everyone, at least from for my age, where we have not gone through even the sea of computers, but we learned everything. It was boon for us actually. So it was new for us also and for kids also. So both we were working over that, both were learning. But what happened? Suppose my subject was chemistry, and you
Okay.
know that chemistry is what, it is all imagination, because no one is still seeing the electron and all. So that's why it becomes sometimes become very boring for the children to explain some concept and some laws. So what happened in between, if you go for even organic chemistry like IUPAC system, so what happened, how to create interest for them? So at that time we were using many techniques, like we were started using this quizlet, which was there, where we can create some things whereby which they can answer, and they have that competition now, who is going to give the correct answer. Same way we have different tools, where I think Kahoot was there. I remember that Kahoot, one ghost, this app was there, where they have to challenge themselves. Many things we were used at that time. So during that Corona time, we learned a lot, and even children were also. And sometimes they were give us tips that, "Ma'am, you this you can use, and now this can be done by this way." So many things are there, and we teach teachers also how to go for it. So by this, the first very important thing is that the problem solving skill, which is very important. Why? Because with gamification, they are just create, it is creating interest in during the class, and they try to solve it. Because whatever, sometimes if they get bored for particular topic, but if it is created, some gamification happen, some new skills created, that at that time they try to learn it. And when we are teaching in more fun way, then obviously it create enhance, or it enhance learning. So this is one of the way by which many other things,
That's
social awareness is there,
that's
cooperation is there, collaboration is there also.
so
So they,
mainly all the skills we're talking about, that everything is covered in the gamut of the game-based learning and the gamification methods.
correct,
Right.
correct,
That's wonderful.
correct.
Thank
Yes.
you, Manjusha ma'am. Paresh, you have raised your hand. You want to add some point, please?
Yes. So gamification. When we talk about this concept, जब हम लोग इसके बारे में
जी.
बात करते हैं, gamification. Gamification is a great methodology, because it instigates competition. It instigates a certain aspect of reaching to a certain goal in children. That's the best part of it. कि यार मुझको आज 20 पॉइंट और कमाने, तो 20 पॉइंट्स मुझे और इससे ऐसे मिल सकते हैं, मुझे और 40 पॉइंट कमाने हैं, तो 40 पॉइंट मुझे ऐसे मिल सकते हैं. बेसिकली ये बिकॉज हर बच्चा कॉम्पिटिटिव है, और यही चीज हम लोग दर्द रीजन में हम लोग देखते हैं, बच्चे जब एक लेवल पार करते किसी गेम में, तो उसको उनको अगला लेवल करना होता है.
वो बचपन से सर
अभी,
सेम लेवल पे ही है. बचपन से हमें भी पता था, पहले 10th का बोर्ड था, फिर 12th का बोर्ड था, तो
बिल्कुल सही है. तो मतलब मंजूषा मैम, आई वाज अ वेरी पुअर केमिस्ट्री स्टूडेंट. आई डिड माय इंजीनियरिंग. कैसे इंजीनियरिंग फर्स्ट ईयर में मैंने, मतलब आई रिमेंबर हाउ आई पास्ड केमिस्ट्री. आई रिमेंबर इट.
Teachers
आई वाज अ वेरी
to
पैथेटिक केमिस्ट्री स्टूडेंट, बट आई कैन से दिस. But gamification basically adds a stint of interest into it. It starts building it because the child starts feeling it is important. Now, what is, I last time, the last questions that you asked, I want to mix two questions, that question, this, and this question. How can these things be added? How can schools try and identify which are the right programs or which are the right methodologies?
Exactly, yes.
Basically, that's a very important question. And somehow I missed out answering that question also. You had asked me this question also. So I thought I'd just take back to that question also. So Gulshan ji, one very critical aspect, everything that gets developed could be by edtech companies or could be by anything. There is a research or there is science behind it, and every school has got their own methodologies of evaluating certain programs. I think one thing that schools can do across is go back, check with those companies, because for us also a lot of schools come back and ask us, what is your technology, and what is the validation of your technology, what is how good are you, what is the scientific relevance of those programs. So for example, if you're talking it enhances memory, so how does your program enhance memory, what is the science behind it? So we produce the research papers stating that how these research papers have been converted into programs. So my only request to all the schools, or this is one great method of doing it, go back and ask that particular organization or that particular company that is coming across is what is the research behind it, where have you done this research, and what are those various aspects. That is very critical. So and once that program comes in, and if this concept of gamification, this concepts of basically building competition children comes in, believe me, the school results are only going to go up and up.
That's wonderful. Neha ma'am, thank you so much, Paresh ji, for adding this wonderful point. Neha ma'am, please.
So in gamification, I would just like to add, it is not just a sense of competition, but it is also a sense of motivation that is instilled in the minds of the learners. Like if it's just the teacher talking, like let's take the example since we're talking about a chemistry class. So if it's just the teacher delivering and the students taking notes, or I mean, the students' level of engagement will be very different had that concept been introduced in the form of game. Let's say ma'am has taught a concept and now there's a game where whatever has been taught, there's a revision through a game. Then there are certain levels, reward points, and then there are many other game elements, not just reward points. They can be various badges that they can earn. They can I mean, they can be various avatars that they can take. Let's say we can pick any theme that so I remember during COVID times, we used to ask our children that what are the team names. So some would say the characters of Avengers, the girls would say the girly characters. So let's just keep that open to the learners, and how we build the game. Let the children decide the rules. That's going to make it all the more engaging for the learners.
That's wonderful. Sarita ma'am, thank you so much, Neha ma'am. Yeah.
So I just want to add that gamification keeps the children, engaged for a longer time, and even it gives them a higher level of thinking, and information can also be memorized for the longer time as it is a game. That's all.
That's
Thank
wonderful.
you.
That's wonderful. Now, we would like to let me introduce our other speaker, Mr. Vikaas Naagru. He is one of the leading mind trainer in India, and I know him in the past almost 1.5 years. He's one of the best person I've ever met, especially with related to the mind training thing, because इनके जो views होते हैं बहुत अलग होते हैं. तो अभी हम माइंड की बात कर रहे हैं, गेम बेस्ड लर्निंग की बात कर रहे हैं. ऐसा नहीं हो सकता है कि हम विकास सर के व्यूज़ ना लें. तो विकास जी, जय हिंद. पहले तो
जय हिंद सर, जय हिंद टू ऑल ऑफ यू, एंड आई एम रियली ऑनर्ड कि आप हमेशा इस तरह के ब्रेनस्टॉर्मिंग सेशन में हमें याद कर लेते हैं.
नहीं सर, इट्स माय प्लेजर. सो सर, थोड़ा सा मुझे इस बारे में बताइए, मतलब हम सबको बताइए, बिकॉज आई एम श्योर दैट एवरी वन इज कनेक्टेड विद लॉट ऑफ लाइक every principal, every teacher is connected with almost 3,000 to 4,000 students, right? And then and now there always been a fix that which technology or which tool that they should use and implement in their classrooms, right? So how this thing is related to the mind development actually? If we are saying that okay, now all these skills will develop if we'll use the technology, so first of all, how to pick the technology and who will be taking the initiatives directly, the teachers or the students or the management, please.
सर देखिए, किसी भी चीज के डेवलपमेंट के लिए ना दो चीजें लगती हैं, एक जेनरिक होती है और एक स्पेसिफिक, एकदम बिल्कुल स्पेसिफिक होती हैं
जी.
इसको हम एग्जांपल लेके चलते हैं. लाइक हम जैसे अभी गाजियाबाद में रह रहे हैं, नोएडा में रह रहे हैं, वहाँ पे बिल्डिंग्स बन रही हैं
जी.
अब उसका बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर आपने अगर 31st फ्लोर के तक की 30 माले की बिल्डिंग बनानी तब भी वही रहने वाला है, अगर आपने कोई G+2 बनाना है तब भी वही रहने वाला है. यानी कि आपको वो सीमेंट लगेगा, रेता लगेगा, सब कुछ सारा सामान वैसा का वैसा लगेगा. बट ये जेनरिक किसके लिए? स्कूल वहां पर जेनरिक कर सकता है क्योंकि उसके पास ऑलरेडी 1000, 2000, 4000 बच्चा है, तो जेनरिक तो स्कूल ही दे पाएगा। स्पेसिफिकेशन की जब बात आती है वहां पर पेरेंट्स की हेल्प लगती है। मतलब मुझे मेरा घर कितना बड़ा बनाना है, किस तरह डेकोरेट करना है, किस तरह रेनोवेट करना है, कौन सी चीज कहाँ लगानी है, मेरी फाइनेंशियल कंडीशन क्या है और मेरी सराउंडिंग क्या बोल रही है, उसके बेस पे मैं डिसाइड करूंगा। वो स्कूल डिसाइड नहीं कर सकता। स्कूल जेंडर पर चल सकता है, तो स्कूल के पास बहुत सारे टूल्स हैं। हाँ, अब स्कूल के लिए पेन एरिया ये हो गया कि इतने सारे टूल्स है, उसमें पिक करना स्कूल के लिए मुश्किल हो गया। दैट्स वेरी ट्रू। मुझे लगता है जितने, मतलब आई डोंट नो दिस इज द राइट वर्ड और नॉट, लाइक जैसे पहले डॉक्टर के पास पहले मेडिकल रिप्रेजेंटेटिव जाया करते थे ना, अब वैसे इतनी सारी कंपनियां हो गई कि शायद एक स्कूल को बाहर आने वाले टाइम में बोर्ड लगाना पड़ेगा फॉर
एंट्री, दिस इज द प्राइस।
तो हो सकता है ये आने वाले टाइम में जिस हिसाब से हम लोग ग्रूम कर रहे हैं, हम एडवांस होते जा रहे हैं, अपने को समझते जा रहे हैं, मुझे लगता है आने वाले टाइम में होने वाला है। अब बात करते हैं हम गेमिफिकेशन की। गेमिफिकेशन पे थोड़ा सा मेरा पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू अलग इस तरह से है। हम जैसे मैम ने केमिस्ट्री की बात करी, केमिस्ट्री कम फ्रॉम दिस एरिया, दिस विच एरिया, राइट फ्रंटल लोब अगर आपके पास है तो केमिस्ट्री समझ में आएगा, राइट फ्रंटल लोब अगर आपके पास नहीं है तो केमिस्ट्री समझ में नहीं आएगा।
सर, आर यू सेइंग दिस दैट वी डोंट हैव दैट, मी एंड परेश डोंट हैव दैट राइट फ्रंटल लोब?
हमारा उतना एक्टिव नहीं होगा जितना होना चाहिए।
जस्ट
मेरा भी
किडिंग,
केमिस्ट्री बहुत
प्लीज।
अच्छा नहीं था, तो मेरे लिए टफ पड़ता था। द सेम थिंग लाइक इसको फिर अगर बात वहीं आ जाएगी, हम जब एमबीबीएस की डिग्री लेता है कोई बच्चा, उसके बाद जब एमएस करता है, सारे सर्जन फिर एक तरह क्यों नहीं परफॉर्म करते भाई? Why there are some surgeons, for them we are saying इनके हाथ में शफा है, इनके हाथ में सफाई है, इनका हाथ why? Because this area, this parietal lobe is having, they are very, बहुत बढ़िया न्यूरॉन्स मिले हुए हैं, उस पर उन्होंने बहुत बढ़िया काम किया, उसका रिजल्ट अच्छा मिल रहा है। तो यहाँ गेमिफिकेशन के लिए हमें थोड़ा सा स्पेसिफिकेशन पे जाना पड़ेगा। क्या उसके लिए वो नंबर्स इंपॉर्टेंट है जिसको मोटिवेट करेंगे, या उसके लिए वो स्टार का डिजाइन है, उसको वो कॉइन्स उसको मोटिवेट करेंगे, या उसको कोई और चीज मोटिवेट करेगी, या किसी के साथ खेलना उसको मोटिवेट करेगा। यहाँ बहुत कुछ डिपेंड करता है। तो गेमिफिकेशन के लिए थोड़ा सा अगेन
सर, अगेन मेरा एक फॉलोअप क्वेश्चन, सो ये टीचर्स की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है या फिर ये प्रिंसिपल्स की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी? लेट मी हैव सम क्लैरिटी ना।
या देखिए, स्कूल क्या कर सकता है, गेमिफिकेशन को एक जेनरिक टर्म्स यूज कर सकता है, लेकिन इसको एडवांस लेवल के लिए हमें फिर पेरेंट्स की हेल्प लेना चाहिए। स्पेसिफिकेशन के लिए पेरेंट्स के पास छोड़ देनी, सारी जिम्मेदारी स्कूल नहीं निभा सकता, तो सारा प्रेशर डालना पड़ेगा। एंड सॉरी टू से, मतलब आई थिंक दिस इज द राइट प्लेटफॉर्म। ये कुछ ना एक और बीच में एक मुद्दा उठ गया है,
क्या चीज
स्कूल्स ये
सर?
काम नहीं कर रहे हैं, स्कूल्स ये नहीं कर रहा। अरे भैया, स्कूल ही तो पिछले 70 साल से कौन चला रहा था? स्कूल ही तो चला रहा था। अचानक स्कूलों के खिलाफ इतना क्यों बोलने लग गए? स्कूल ही तो सब कुछ कर रहा है, लेकिन उससे एक्स्ट्रा रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी देने की कोशिश की जा रही है, उसको एक्स्ट्रा प्रेशर करने की कोशिश की जा रही है, और पेरेंट्स अपना बैकफुट पे आना की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, वो पॉसिबल नहीं है।
ये हम डिस्कस करेंगे एक नए टॉपिक के अंदर।
तो
थैंक
specification के लिए
यू
हमें
सो मच
parents
विकास
help
जी
करना
फॉर शेयरिंग दिस वंडरफुल पॉइंट। या नेहा मैम, प्लीज।
So when Vikas sir said that जैसे एमआर के लिए अलग टाइम होता है,
जी
so
जी जी।
हमने ऑलरेडी बाहर गेट पे लगा दिया एक अलग ईमेल एड्रेस, अपॉइंटमेंट और एक डेट और उस पे बाय इनवाइट ही आप आएंगे, बिकॉज जो भी आता है वो अपना प्रोडक्ट बहुत एनर्जी के साथ लाकर प्रेजेंट करना चाहता है, और सबको प्रिंसिपल से ही मिलना होता है। उनको आप कोऑर्डिनेटर से मिला दो तो उनको लगता है कि हमें टरका रहे हैं, मिलना प्रिंसिपल से ही है, so करना पड़ गया है ये, लाइक दैट इज द रियलिटी। इफ यू हैव अ ओपन डोर पॉलिसी तो ये करना पड़ रहा है आजकल। Thank you.
Just, yeah, Naren sir, you wanted to add your point? Just
yes. गुड इवनिंग विकास सर, बहुत बढ़िया। पिछले सेशन से जो है ना, बाकी माइंड ट्रेनिंग का जुड़ेंगे आपसे और बहुत अच्छे से।
माय प्लेजर।
दो चीजें आपके इससे मैंने निकाली हैं। पहला जो बात हुई थी कि सभी जो मेडिकल स्टूडेंट्स हैं या किसी भी फील्ड के स्टूडेंट्स हैं, व्हाई दे नॉट परफॉर्मिंग एट द सेम लेवल। यहीं से कॉम्पिटेंसी बेस्ड एजुकेशन की बात चलती है। देखिए, डॉक्टर है, उसने चीजें सीख ली, उसको पता लग गया, इसका मतलब उसको नॉलेज है। अभी उसका ट्रेनिंग हुआ, उसका 5 साल के लिए, वो बढ़िया अपने मेडिकल कॉलेज में गया, उसको बताया गया कि हार्ट में ये प्रॉब्लम है तो ये करना है, उसको ऑपरेट ऐसे करना है, किडनी का प्रॉब्लम है, ये मेडिसिन देना है। नाउ दिस इज द स्किल विच द डॉक्टर हैज एक्वायर्ड। अब वो मार्केट में उतरता है, तो जब वो मार्केट में आता है, नाउ द थर्ड इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट जो कॉम्पिटेंसी बेस्ड एजुकेशन को लेके आता है, दैट इज उसका जो एटीट्यूड है, क्योंकि वो कस्टमर को किस एंगल से व्यू करता है, दैट। और जब ये स्किल, नॉलेज और एटीट्यूड तीनों मिलते हैं, देन वी कॉल्ड एज ए कॉम्पिटेंसी। तो दिस अप्रोच इज आल्सो वन ऑफ द इम्पोर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट फॉर परफॉर्मिंग इन द सेम एरिया। सेकेंड जो पॉइंट सेकेंड जो बात आ रही थी कि टेक्नोलॉजी क्लासरूम में कौन लेके आए और किस तरह की टेक्नोलॉजी की हम बात करें। तो
Exactly.
गुलशन सर, इसमें जो बात आ रही थी, जो मुझे यहाँ से एक पॉइंट क्लिक किया कि एज पर द एज ग्रुप ऑफ द स्टूडेंट, एज पर द लर्निंग स्टाइल्स, क्योंकि देखिए बच्चों के डिफरेंट लर्निंग स्टाइल्स हैं क्लास के
Exactly,
अंदर।
yes.
तो कैसे हम बच्चों को कोई बच्चा हमें बहुत अच्छा जो है वो कोडिंग करके दे देगा। इवन एनईपी ने मैं आपको बता दूं, जो डिजाइन थिंकिंग मॉड्यूल पे हम काम कर रहे हैं आईआईटी बॉम्बे के साथ, वहाँ पे जो डिजाइन थिंकिंग एंड इनोवेशन क्लासरूम में आ रहा है। और ये टेक्नोलॉजी की वजह से पूरा एक मिशन चल रहा है मिनिस्ट्री का, वेयर 50,000 टीचर्स विल एंटर इनटू द क्लासरूम। तो वहाँ पे सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट जो बात आ रही है वो किसकी है? टेक्नोलॉजी की। एंड हाउ दैट टेक्नोलॉजी, जो परवेज सर बात कर रहे थे ना कि वो कॉग्निटिव एरिया में कैसे काम करना है, क्योंकि वहां पे टास्क दिया जाएगा, ना कि कोर्स बुक होगी। सो व्हेन द स्टूडेंट थिंक दैट प्रॉब्लम, दैट पर्सपेक्टिव, अप्रोच विल बी डिफरेंट। सो डेफिनेटली टेक्नोलॉजी प्लेस। ओवर टू यू सर।
That's wonderful. Sarita ma'am, let me ask you your question. Right. So we have already shared that thing. Fine. So what are some
Yeah.
of the effective ways to integrate technology into the classroom to enhance student engagement? Because sometimes we have seen that okay, we are introducing this technology, but we are not getting the student engagement at that level, at bar level. So what are some effective ways which you think that might be useful in the classroom?
So, as we before also we stated, probably now when we see we are having our PowerPoint presentations for the children, audiovisual classes we have, right? Online gaming we have for them, the apps we use in the school, which has been provided. Now in my school we have integrated to them the tablets. We
Okay.
are a SSC board, so we have introduced the tablets to them. So these all things keep them engaged. Along with that, even I believe that only the teacher keep playing her role by teaching the thing. I, even initiative through the children in the class in front of the children, giving a presentation, right, using the techno. So that also makes a lot of difference to the kids. This when they stand in front of the class and showing them different kind of
The two.
presentations used, yeah, on the computers, laptop, on my projector. They come with the pen drive, and we make them be a speaker in front of them and explain with the group, G6 group, G8 group. So this really enhance the children, motivate them more to be more passionate and learn more by sharing with each other.
That's Vikazi, you want
So,
to? Yeah. Sarita ma'am, are you done
and
with your point?
yeah, one more line
Yeah.
I would like
Please, ma'am.
to just add on this. So, doing all this collaboration of learning, this has really shown one kind of development in the level of the thinking of the students, in fact, where the children are boosted, right? And even they have become self-esteem as well.
So, okay, now different ways. Wonderful. Neha ma'am, please share your experience. I'm sure that you guys are doing a lot of good work in that school in Jodhpur. So,
Yes.
how
So,
you? Yes.
yes. So, if I've understood the question right, it was that what are the different ways of integrating technology in the classroom, right?
Yes. Exactly.
So, what we already had even before COVID were interactive whiteboards. Apart from that, we can take help of online learning management system. And
LMS.
nowadays the LMS are AI backed, right? So now it's the era of AI, and if you are not leveraging the benefit of AI, we are just, I mean, wasting our time putting human input where we have so many free AI tools, not even
Exactly.
paid at the moment. Maybe after we get used to them, the companies will make them paid. That of course is another discussion. So apart from the LMS, you can also have a flipped classroom model where you give pre and post assignments to the child. Like outside the classroom, they have to do like one is blended learning. You have your traditional classroom teaching, and then they go home and then they use the online tools and other tools, maybe some apps or some softwares. That is one way blended. One is flipped classroom, that they mandatorily get pre-read and post-read. So they have to use the technological tools. Flipped classroom is another approach. Next is collaborative tools that we all have been using quite a lot during the pandemic. Like that is the only way we could collaborate. Like the school was one industry where we were mostly using so much of paper work, and I mean so many paper assignments were given and taken back, and it within the wink of an eye, I would say, like a magic wand, everything became soft, and Google Docs and
This Google
Teams and
Forms.
yes, Google Forms. Sare exams we took on Google Forms, so everything was the power of collaborative tools, right? Then we just spoke about gamification. So another way of integrating technology is using the game-based tools like Mentimeter and Kahoot and many more. There are plethora of tools we can't even
Many
name.
tools are there in the market.
Yes,
Yes.
and then adaptive learning softwares are also there, where like we just spoke that different children have different learning styles, their strengths are different, their weaknesses are different. So there are softwares which adapt to the user, right? They can trace the strengths and weakness depending on the data that is generated by the student. And analytics can be run on it, and it will help the teacher understand the learner better. So those are the adaptive learning softwares.
There are many softwares
Then
in the market.
most interesting thing I found was that if you're teaching social science, so you just don't have to show a map. You can actually take them on a virtual field trip. So there are many websites and many apps that facilitate that. So this is another way we can make the social science lessons very interesting, like sitting right there where you are, even if you're geographically distanced or within the classroom through the smart board or whatever tool or technology that you're using, you can take the student on a virtual field trip. So these are certain ways where we can integrate technology in our classrooms.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Paresh, you want to add your point, please?
Yeah, so basically, just I was listening to Neha ma'am, and probably a couple of points more came to my mind. How about trying and using this podcast and videos as an assignment mode? Maybe make children submit their assignments in form of videos, because to really go to colleges and all, now colleges have started applying this entire concept, wherein there are certain assignments that the colleges, the children need to submit. They need to, because they have to go on face interviews later on. So for that reason, why these all concepts can be used, blogs, concepts like recording and playback. Like, for example, the child can, whatever the child is reading across, the child can record for themselves and play it back. Because listening to their own voice basically would make them listen that particular part with a lot of attention. That would make the learning that not easy. So concepts like this also can be probably implemented by children. Maybe, the children can be encouraged to use all these concepts is what I was thinking about.
That's fun. Yeah, Neha ma'am, you also raise your hand. I believe you want to add a
Yes,
point.
Paresh, that's a wonderful point that you mentioned. So these days, if you give the child an assignment in a language class that you have to write down a paragraph onto something, they'd rather not be interested. If you tell them that you have to create a blog on that topic, they'll be all excited and they'll be happy to collaborate. So we are doing that in the English lessons, especially grade 7th and above. We are giving them blogs to write. And recently there's a program run by CBSE, Adolescent and Peer Leadership Program, where we are peer ambassadors are being created. So there, the workshops that was taken, we had to choose one student from each class, one from grade 9, one from 10th, one from 11th, and one from 12th. So those 4 students were trained by the CBSE trainers, and they indeed had to conduct the similar sessions within the school premises. That's why they were called peer ambassadors. There, they were given topics and they had to create podcasts. So that is the new age learning way.
That's a new age, even day to day
actually,
in our life also. I mean, to hire interns or to hire people, we use Internshala. So in Internshala also, they've introduced a new thing altogether, that is video CV. So rather writing it down the entire thing, that you have to suffice the entire thing in 90 seconds. So because as an employer, we don't have so much of time to screen your application. If you have the video CV, we will get to know, okay, what all that you have done. So in 90 seconds, in 2 minutes, we'll get to know. वो directly सामने दिख रहा है. तो अभी वो पूरा स्क्रीन करने का, बुलाने का जरूरत नहीं है. Entirely within 2 minutes you will get to know कि हाँ यार, this person is having that personality. I don't want to assess it, because by just listening to the words you will get to know कि हाँ यार, pronunciation अच्छा है, ये सारी चीजें ठीक है.
सही है. And these all things are getting implemented. So why not try and bring it into their lives much before they're going to get into those roles?
Of course, yes, sir. I mean, in our life also, the very first thing, if one person gets introduced, Paresh sir introduced Vikaas sir to me, the very first thing we'll check it out, then his LinkedIn profile.
Absolutely.
Isn't it? I'm sure that you also check it out. So by looking at the LinkedIn profile, you will get to know कि हाँ यार क्या बंदा है, क्या नहीं है, क्या चीजें हैं. So this is again a new way thing. I mean, previously we used to call and we used to discuss, but now just looking at the LinkedIn profile, we'll get to know a lot of things. So I'm sure this is how we're going to make our life very easier by the use of
True.
technology. Manisha ma'am, you have raised your hand. I believe you want to add a point.
Yes, good evening, everyone.
Very
Good
good.
evening.
First of all, I want to clear my school name. It's Gyanajaya Senior Secondary School. And one thing I want to tell you all that actually I want to add something in between.
Yeah, please.
You are talking about technology, right?
Yes.
But I think, according to me, talking about teaching, if I'm talking about the teaching, the first thing that comes in my mind is the teacher. He always encouraged me to do better, and not that tech stuff that helps me to do better.
Okay.
So there is importance of teacher also.
Of
Without
course, yes.
teacher, we can't do anything. Na? Only with the help of technology, we can't do any. We can't. You know, I agree that technology can enhance interest, but without teacher, without the presence of a teacher, we can't connect. So we are forgetting this thing.
No, absolutely fine. Even we are not we have not negated the teacher. Even what we are discussing for the past 30 minutes or 40 minutes, that how the teachers can help to integrate all this technological tool in the classroom. So we have never discussed about it that okay, because the students by themselves they cannot use it, especially in the classroom. And what they are doing at their home, that's again we don't have any clue. So we are discussing in the 7 to 8 hours when they are in school. So what kind of a technology through the teachers, how can be implemented, through which ways? I believe we have discussed all these things.
Yes.
Thank you Manisha ma'am. Yeah, Vikas ji, you have raised your hand. I believe you want to add.
गुलशन सर, 2 पॉइंट है, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. हमें टेक्नोलॉजी, जैसे ये जेनरिक रूल है कि हाँ भी टेक्नोलॉजी है तो उसका मिस यूज नहीं होना चाहिए, उसका एक्स्ट्रा यूज नहीं होना चाहिए, उसको वो हमें कॉम्प्लीमेंट करना चाहिए.
जी जी
But
जी.
आप अगर क्योंकि मैं मेरे बेटे के लिए स्कूल अभी सर्च कर रहा हूँ, तो अभी स्कूल्स में विजिट कर रहा हूँ एज अ पेरेंट.
ओके.
तो बहुत ही ड्रामेटिकली और बहुत ही ड्रेस्टिकली चेंजेस हैं. बहुत बड़ा ऐसा, मतलब देयर इज अ ह्यूज गैप व्हेन जहां नेहा मैम अपने स्कूल के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, मंजूषा मैम अपने स्कूल के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं, उससे जब मैं बाकी स्कूलों को विजिट कर रहा हूँ, चाहे वो ब्रांड्स हैं चाहे नॉन ब्रांड्स हैं, देयर इज अ बिग डिफरेंस. बहुत बड़ा डिफरेंस है, पहली चीज. दूसरा, जब आप बात कर रहे थे इंटर्नशाला की या किसी को हायर करने की, तो now there are n number of tools to check them. Apart from LinkedIn and like there is a graphology, there is a DMIT, there is a brain mapping test, there are n number of tools that is much needed. Because अभी जो हम जिस तरह से उसको अपब्रिंग कर रहे हैं अपने बच्चे को, जिस तरह उसको ग्रूम कर रहे हैं, वो हाफ ट्रूथ है. इनफैक्ट अगर मेरे से आप पूछें, जो मैं दिस इज माय पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू, कि जब हम बात करते हैं कि स्कूलिंग कॉलेज से बहुत अलग है, स्कूल में बच्चे का रोल बहुत अलग है, जहां पर एज अ इंडियन हम बहुत बड़ा ब्लंडर कर रहे हैं, एज इन माय पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू. सॉरी, मतलब आई एम यूजिंग दिस वर्ड्स, क्योंकि हम जब ट्रेंड के साथ चल रहे हैं तो गलत कर रहे हैं. हमारा काम ट्रेंड के साथ चलना नहीं था, हमारा काम था उसका ओवरऑल डेवलपमेंट करना, चाहे वो टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ करते चाहे बिना टेक्नोलॉजी के. हमारा पर्पस ये होना चाहिए. ये बहुत बड़ी मिस्टेक हो रही है इस टाइम पर. हमें बेसिक्स नहीं पता और हम बहुत सी चीजों को एनरोल कर रहे हैं. आप एग्जांपल लें जापान का, आप एग्जांपल ले लें फिनलैंड का, आप एग्जांपल लें इजराइल का. ये तीनों कंट्रीज कोई ऐसा एक्सपेरिमेंट नहीं कर रही अपने बच्चे पे, और वो हमसे ज्यादा एडवांस हैं. और हमारी इंडियन कंट्री, जो योग कंट्री बोला जाता है, आज हम ये बोल रहे हैं. मैं जहां स्कूलों में जा रहा हूँ, काउंसलिंग मेरा काम है, वहां पे क्या कंप्लेंट आ रही है? बच्चा स्ट्रेस में है, बच्चे को एंजाइटी हो रही है, ADHD का प्रॉब्लम हो रहा है. उन 3 कंट्री में क्यों नहीं हो रहा भाई? वाई? बिकॉज अगेन हम जिस टेक्नोलॉजी की बात कर रहे हैं, हमारे बेसिक्स क्लियर नहीं है. हम टेक्नोलॉजी को साथ में एनरोल कर रहे हैं. और जैसे भी हमने बात करी कि ब्लॉगिंग लिखने के लिए बोल रहे हैं, छोटा सा एग्जांपल है. आई एम नॉट पॉइंटिंग यू नेम, डोंट टेक इट पर्सनली, आई एम जस्ट शेयरिंग माय थॉट्स.
I understand.
राइटिंग का ब्रेन के ऊपर इम्पैक्ट अलग तरह का है. हम राइटिंग को कैसे कम करा सकते हैं? तो उन 3 कंट्री ने क्यों नहीं करा, जिसको पूरा वर्ल्ड देखता है, जिसको देख के तो हम सारे चलते हैं. उन्होंने क्यों नहीं कराया? There are some reasons. They have some research document, proven documents. There is one very good neuroscientist by the name of Dr. Kawashima, जिनकी टेक्नोलॉजी को, जिनकी टेक्निक्स को, हैंड रिटन टेक्निक्स, there is no technology. होंडा के बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स यूज करते हैं. 60 साल का आदमी 5 साल के बच्चे की एक्टिविटी कर रहा है अपने बोर्ड रूम में बैठकर. Why? Because they know the brain very well. तो और ये डिफरेंस इतना बड़ा होने वाला है, ये हो चुका है। तो एक स्कूल जिसको कुछ नहीं पता और एक स्कूल इतना कुछ एडवांस कर रहा है, उसको भी पता है लेकिन शायद बेसिक्स पे वो मिस कर रहा है। देयर इज अ बिग डिफरेंस। यहाँ पर तो हमें टेक्नोलॉजी को बहुत स्मार्टली यूज करना पड़ेगा, नहीं तो वो हमारे अगेंस्ट खड़ी होगी, हमें पता भी नहीं होगा, और वो खड़ी है एक्चुअली। तो मेंटल लेवल हमारे
First,
कंट्री पे चल रहा है ना, वो
yeah.
उससे वर्स्ट नहीं हो सकता वो।
That's
Yeah.
wonderful. Thank you,
So
Vikaas ji,
yeah,
for sharing a different point. Yeah,
yeah.
Manjusha ma'am, let me take Manjusha ma'am point
Yes.
of view. Then I'll go to Neha ma'am, Narendra sir, and Manisha ma'am. So please summarize the point in a very short time. Yeah, Manjusha ma'am, please.
Nothing very this out of this topic. That Vikas said, just one thing is there, that yes, we are moving towards this high tech education, but the thing is that it depends upon the basics roots, what you have motto for the children for a particular school. Suppose being in a Bangalore situation where I am, and the school name is Shri Global. So what is that? We are doing parallelly both the things, sir. If we are using a smart board in the classes, we are doing Pad Puja also on Father's Day. So the thing is that it depends on your things, how you are going with the modern technology. So when we are giving this knowledge, because nowadays in this generation, both the parents are working. So maybe they are not getting time to sit with children, and when they are getting time, they sit and discuss only about the education. So these basic etiquettes somewhere missing. So our motto is that, suppose on Father's Day we have done Pad Puja, we call parents and children were doing all these rituals. So we try to give this in on Earth Day also we have done, which means many schools are doing this. But the thing is that it depends how you are parallelly going with all these things. It is not only that we are running behind the high tech education. It is that how we are adapting that. सो इफ वी आर अडेप्टिंग इन सच अ वे कि हम दोनों चीज़ों को पैरेलली समानांतर लेकर चल रहे हैं और दोनों ही चीज़ों को डेवलप कर रहे हैं, ग्रोथ कर रहे हैं विद बाय गिविंग देयर इम्पोर्टेंस, देन ओनली आई थिंक इट इज़ अ सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट। और जो जिसकी तरफ आई होप कि एवरीवन इज ट्राइंग टू मूव टुवर्ड्स दैट ओनली। दिस इज ओनली क्वेश्चन व्हाट आई वांट टू से।
आई डू
That's
एग्री। मुझे
wonderful.
इंसिडेंट याद है, मेरी वाइफ और जब हमारे साथ भी ऐसा होता कि मेरी मातृ पूजा थी स्कूल के अंदर, तो शी लिटरली शी क्राइड, इवन माय सन आल्सो क्राइड। व्हाई? दैट मूवमेंट, द
Definitely,
एनवायरनमेंट, yeah, that's true.
that environment, yes.
And I'm really happy that there are and some schools they are doing real true experiments with some basics. बाकी जब हम मास की बात करते हैं तो थोड़ा सा पेन होता है।
चलिए, that's वो फिर या नेहा मैम प्लीज।
So I would just like to clarify that जो न्यू एज स्कूल्स हैं जहाँ पर हमें सीबीएसई करिकुलम में इंटरनेशनल एक्सपोजर भी देना है बच्चों को, because there are going to be children who will stay in the hometown, there will be children who will be moving to tier B cities, there will be tier A, like we are a tier C city, so they'll be moving to tier B, tier A. They are the ones who are going to move to maybe UK, US, we never know, right? But the same batch has to be given all the exposure possible within the school limits, right? So we are doing, like Manjusha ma'am just mentioned, that we are doing what the Indian culture is, but we also have to keep them upbeat with the contemporary things going on in their era, right? So we are the ones, जो भी एक्सपोजर उनको देना है जिम्मेदारी स्कूल पर है, राइट? एज यू जस्ट मेंशन्ड इन द इनिशियल डिस्कशन दैट द पेरेंट्स हैव टेकन अ बैक सीट एंड दे वुड जस्ट कीप कॉलिंग, और अगर आप ओपन डोर टेक्नोलॉजी रखते हो, सो दे विल बी फ्लोइंग ऑन with suggestions that why don't you do this, they'll ring up and say why don't you do this, and of course we're trying to do that, but we also involve we also invite parent for partnerships, like if we have people who are trained for a particular thing that we are trying, so we also take the parent in the loop. So everything we are trying to do, it's basically a 4H approach, right? We are training their head, heart, hand, and we are also working towards their physical and mental well-being. That was just one example that I mentioned, that ये experiments भी करने पड़ते हैं, doesn't mean that कॉपी नहीं बना रहे बच्चे, they are writing also, but हमें वो हमारा
will
आज
not
का theme है student engagement, so just to engage them वैरायटी करनी पड़ती है ताकि लर्नर्स एंगेज रहे, वैरायटी ऑफ एक्टिविटीज।
That's wonderful. That's
I am not pointing, so sorry.
I understand. I understand.
can we
I am not taking it personally. I am just giving the overview that क्या क्या
विकास सर का पॉइंट, मैं विकास सर का पॉइंट समझ पा रहा था। विकास सर का पॉइंट ये था कि हम जितना मर्जी टेक्नोलॉजी यूज़ कर लें, आज के टाइम पर उस टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ साथ में बहुत सारे चैलेंजेस आ रहे हैं जिसको कहीं ना कहीं सोसाइटी ओवरलुक कर रही है, फॉर द सेक ऑफ किया यार हमें जो ट्रेंड है उसको कॉपी करना है या ट्रेंड है जो उसको चीज़ें करना है, और वो चैलेंजेस रहेंगे भी. सेम आई मीन टेक द एग्जांपल ऑफ अस. हमें पता है कि फ़ोन बहुत ज़्यादा यूज़ नहीं करना, बट मुझे नहीं पता कि आप लोग कितना यूज़ करते होंगे. कभी कभी मुझे भी इतना ज़्यादा एडिक्शन हो जाता है और मुझे लगता है कि यार ये मतलब मैंने क्या कर दिया, पिछले 1 घंटे से मैं क्या कर रहा था. मुझे पता है, मतलब आई एम द ट्रेनर माई सेल्फ, बींग एंटरप्रेन्योर माई सेल्फ, मुझे सारी चीज़ें पता है जो चीज़ हम बताते हैं. बट कभी ना कभी हमारे साथ में भी चैलेंजेस आते हैं. तो बच्चों के साथ में दोज आर जस्ट 16 और 14 ईयर्स ऑफ एज एंड दे हैव द मोबाइल फोन्स विद देम, सो इट्स वेरी हार्ड टू कीप अवे फ्रॉम द टेक्नोलॉजी, दो इट्स अ नेसेसरी पार्ट ऑफ इट. So let's discuss it post the webinar, I believe. Narendra sir, please summarize your point, please, in a nutshell.
बिल्कुल बिल्कुल सर, ये जो सारी बातें निकल के आ रही है ना कि ऐसा
हाँ.
क्या करें कि जो लिमिटेड एक्सेस है टेक्नोलॉजी का.
हाँ.
और अगर मैं इसकी बात करता हूँ, देखिए बच्चों को अगर रिसोर्सेज अवेलेबल नहीं है या किसी तरह से, पहला पॉइंट अगर हम लेके आते हैं कि टेक्नोलॉजी क्लास में टीचर थोड़ा सा यूज कर ले, अपना
हाँ.
व्हाइट बोर्ड यूज कर ले, कंप्यूटर को यूज कर ले. सेकेंडली क्योंकि फ्लो इतना ज्यादा हो गया तो कोई ना कोई लो टेक अल्टरनेटिव जो है वो लेके आने पड़ेंगे. तो कुछ ऐसी गेम्स डेवलप करनी पड़ेंगी जो अभी बात हो रही थी जिसमें परेश सर बात कर रहे हैं कि कुछ ना कुछ माइंड के लिए बात करना हमने. तीसरा इंपॉर्टेंट है, कोई जरूरी नहीं है कि हम उसको सारी असाइनमेंट जो है वो ऑनलाइन ही मल्टीपल चॉइस है, वहीं पे उसको टिक मार्क करना, वहीं उसको लिखना है. पेपर बेस्ड असाइनमेंट भी काम करती हैं. और
Exactly.
सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट जो बात है वो कोलेबोरेशन की बात कर रही है, क्योंकि देखिए प्रोजेक्ट बेस्ड लर्निंग की बार बार फोकस हो रहा है. तो कहीं ना कहीं बच्चों को माइंड इस तरह से यूज करें कि वो एक कोलेबोरेशन में लेके आए. और जो मैंने पहले भी आपसे बहुत डिस्कस किया, जिसमें डिफरेंशिएटेड लर्निंग की बात हो रही है, इंस्ट्रक्शंस की बात हो रही है, जिसमें बच्चे की नीड और एबिलिटी की बात हो रही है, तो वहां पे कहीं ना कहीं एक कुछ एक्टिविटीज इस तरह से डिजाइन होंगी जिसमें टेक्नोलॉजी का थोड़ा सा यूज करना है. और सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट मैं समराइज कर रहा हूँ, जो कम्युनिटी में सर रिसोर्सेज अवेलेबल है, मैं उनको अगर हम यूटिलाइज करते हैं बहुत अच्छे से, बहुत सारी चीजें हैं सराउंडिंग में बच्चे के.
Exactly.
अगर एज ए टीचर, एज ए एडुकेटर, इफ वी प्लान अवर लेसन प्लान इन सच ए वे, डेफिनेटली हमारा बच्चा उस टेक्नोलॉजी से भी थोड़ा दूर रहेगा, बट एटलीस्ट उसको एक क्रिएटिव वे में यूज करेगा.
मैं एक एग्जांपल यूज़ कर सकता हूँ. आई बिलीव विकास सर, नरेंद्र सर, नेहा मैम, हम सब लोग एक ही एज ग्रुप के हैं, 35-40 के अराउंड. हम सब लोगों ने वो वाला टाइम देखा है जब हम स्कूल में जाते थे और सिर्फ आधे घंटे का कंप्यूटर पीरियड होता था. और उस कंप्यूटर पीरियड में राइट वो सिर्फ एक प्रोसेस से हमें ऑलमोस्ट 1 हफ्ता गुजरना पड़ता था कि यार आपको यही प्रोसेस करना है. वो फिर एक हफ्ता या 1.5 महीना हमें एक गेम ही खिलाते थे. मतलब वो वर्ड पर आने में हमें ऑलमोस्ट 1 साल लग गया सिर्फ CPU तक. और तब भी आज भी हम बहुत एक परफेक्ट तरीके से टेक्नोलॉजी का यूज़ कर पा रहे हैं. तो एक ही इवॉल्विंग चीज़ है, ऐसा नहीं है कि सारी चीज़ स्कूल में हो जाएंगी या सारी टेक्नोलॉजी या सारी एप्लीकेशंस सिर्फ स्कूल में ही होंगी. इट्स अ प्रोसेस. स्कूल्स आर टेकिंग अ लॉट ऑफ इनिशिएटिव्स एंड इंटीग्रेट दिस टेक्नोलॉजी इज वन ऑफ द रीजंस एंड वन ऑफ द वेज थ्रू विच दे कैन लर्न फ्यू थिंग्स.
गुलशन जी, आपने तो शायद स्कूल में जाके कंप्यूटर देखा था. आप 30-40 में 45-50 के एज ग्रुप में आता हूँ मैं. हम लोग तो इंजीनियरिंग के सेकंड ईयर में जाके कंप्यूटर्स देखे हमने. जब सेकंड ईयर इंजीनियरिंग में तब हमें कंप्यूटर पहले मिला था कि मैं कैसे यूज करना फ्लॉपी ड्राइव डाल के. सो दैट्स द डिफरेंस.
मैं यही ऐड कर रहा था कि मैंने कहा हमने कंप्यूटर उस टाइम यूज किया, और सर हम बहुत लकी इनफ है कि हमारा जो जनरेशन है ना, दे आर मेकिंग द गैप बिटवीन ओल्ड एंड न्यू वन.
हाँ.
तो वो जो इनके लिए
एक 1.5 MB की फ्लॉपी ड्राइव कितनी इंपॉर्टेंट होती थी. आज
बिल्कुल और वो छोटी होती गई, फ्लॉपी ड्राइव छोटी होती गई, गायब हो गई बाद में.
Again, nice. Yeah, Manisha, may you want to add your point, please? Yeah, raise your hand. Yes.
Actually, I agree with Vikaas sir and Neha ma'am both. And yes, both everything is important, and technology is also important, and basics are also important. Basics को लेके हम टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ साथ चल के होलिस्टिक डेवलपमेंट नहीं कर सकते हैं. हमें बोल रही है. तो होलिस्टिक डेवलपमेंट के लिए अगर हम अपने पास को साथ में लेके चले और साथ में एडवांस जाए, so that is very important for the school, and everything is important. So yes, with the help of technology we can engage students, but with the help of basics we can make students we can give students healthy environment actually. And
that's wonderful. Thank you, Manish ma'am, for sharing your point. You need to unmute yourself. There's a lot of voice. Yeah. Vikas sir, last point from your
या
side.
बस आई एम जस्ट वांट टू समराइज मैं ये बात क्यों बोल रहा था, जैसे कर्सिव राइटिंग है, जिस एज ग्रुप में हम आ रहे हैं हमने कर्सिव राइटिंग नहीं की थी, मतलब मेरे स्कूल में तो नहीं थी, बाकी आप लोगों के स्कूल में तो आई डोंट नो, है ना, मैंने तो नहीं करी थी। तो अब कर्सिव राइटिंग स्कूल में आई, अब पॉइंट समझने की कोशिश कर, बीइंग अ माइंड ट्रेनर हमारा काम है माइंड को, ब्रेन को पढ़ना, और ये प्रॉब्लम क्यों हुई हम उसकी जड़ तक जाने की कोशिश करते हैं, रूट तक जाने की कोशिश करते हैं। अब ये इतना बड़ा ब्लंडर हो रहा है स्कूल्स में, जिनको नॉलेज नहीं है उसकी बात कर रहा हूं मैं। आप टी लिखवा रहे हो, आप ओ लिखवा रहे हो, आप बी लिखवा रहे हो, आप क्यू लिखवा रहे हो कर्सिव राइटिंग में, जो कि बिल्कुल अनएथिकल है उस वे में लिखना, एज पर माइंड, एज पर ब्रेन। वो फिर अच्छा किस एज में लिखवा रहे हो, एट द एज ऑफ 5 to 15, उस एज में आप लिखवा रहे हो, उसके ब्रेन को गलत तरह से ट्यून कर रहे हो, फिर उसका इंपैक्ट कब मिल रहा है आपको 21 के बाद, और फिर उसका इंपैक्ट अगेन देयर इज अ को सीक्वेंस ऑन ईच एंड एवरी, उस पर्टिकुलर इंडिविजुअल पर, उसकी फैमिली पर, फिर उसके बाद उसकी सोसाइटी पर, फिर उसकी कंट्री पर, ऐसे इंपैक्ट पड़ता है। अगर आपको कर्सिव लानी ही है, मैंने भी 10 साल किंडरगार्टन स्कूल चलाया, मैंने भी बहुत सारी गलतियां की होंगी, लेकिन अगर कर्सिव लानी तो देयर आर सम सेट पैटर्न, उसको हमें बेसिक से समझना पड़ेगा, फिर उसके बाद इंट्रोड्यूस करो। द थिंग इज दिस, उसका जो इंस्ट्रक्शन मैनुअल है ना वो पढ़ लो, उसके बाद कोई भी चीज आप अप्लाई करो, दैट्स अ बिग थिंग। बट बहुत सारे कॉपी कैट होते हैं, वो फटाफट कॉपी करते हैं, फिर वो एक कहावत बनी हुई है कि अकल करने के और नकल करने के लिए भी कुछ चाहिए होता है, तो ठीक है, तो उनके लिए ये
परेश जी विद अग्री, ना तो हमारे पास में अकल थी सर, ना ही नकल थी, हम तो उस प्रोसेस से निकल चलिए जस्ट एडिंग सम।
नहीं, बात तो सही, दैट्स द रीजन व्हाई आई सेड दैट। विकास जी मैं वही कह रहा था कि कहीं ना कहीं अगर कोई कुछ लेके आता है तो उसको वेरीफाई करना बहुत जरूरी है कि बॉस व्हाट इज द साइंस बिहाइंड इट, क्या रिसर्च क्या है उस पर्टिकुलर कंपनी का, ये सब बहुत जरूरी है। एंड समवेयर अंटिल स्कूल्स के लिए ये यू नो, एंड आई बिलीव स्कूल्स डू ऑल दिस थिंग्स, और दे डोंट जस्ट गेट कैरिड अवे by what is being brought across. I think that's a good process. बहुत जरूरी है ये।
So thank you everyone for taking active part in our webinar and we had a marvelous discussion. बहुत सारी बस लड़ाई होने से बची यहाँ पर, बाकी सारी
अरे सर मेरे नाम पे पत्ता फट जाएगा, मैंने कुछ नहीं।
चल now
We were just actively discussing.
that's one. I'm just adding more humor to it so that we can because 1 घंटा हो गया है, so I just want to see some laughing faces. Now we are moving towards the end of our webinar, and at the end of the webinar we always do this rapid fire round. Okay, so you all know that you are the principals at the EdTech leaders and the torch bearer of educational fraternity in India. So I want to have some suggestions from your side. So what do you suggest to the student कि हाँ यार technology कैसे use करना है? So I'm giving you 20 seconds to think of it, and it's a rapid fire round. So one by one I'll come back to everyone. ठीक है, so you just need to give one suggestion that directly leading towards the student. Yeah, so you need to give one suggestion to the student how you can use the technology in a very better and an efficient manner. ठीक है, so the technology is not the evil will play the active the evil part in your life, but the angel part in your life. Okay, just a second, let me okay, I'll go to Neha ma'am first, then Manjusha ma'am, then Manisha ma'am, then Sarita ma'am, Paresh and Vikaas sir, and last में Narender sir. Fine. Neha ma'am, one suggestion to the student.
So they have to use technology in moderation. Like their goal should be clear that why they want to use technology, what is the aim, right? And then they have to set a time limit, and then they have to judiciously utilize the time that they have set for technology. Like if they have set out time to watch a particular video resource, at that time, come be it a notification of Instagram or any other app that they're into, they will not get distracted. They have to keep distractions at bay in order to judiciously utilize the time devoted for technology. So that is my advice.
So the judicious use of your time, if you are using your mobile phone for the aid or to study, I mean to the study purposes. Wonderful. Manjusha ma'am, one suggestion?
Yes, sir. So my suggestion is that this technology they must use to clear their concept. Basically, they are in practice of learning and routing things. Many are using different ways to learn the methods and do so. If the concept is clear, this is very easiest way to clear your concept by using different technology, by concept map, flow chart. Many things are there. So that is the one way by which they can use it.
Wonderful. Manisha ma'am, one suggestion?
Time management, and students should be focused And another thing is that concept clearing is very important for the students. If concept is clear, then technology uses, we can say, वो सही लगेगा. टेक्नोलॉजी करेंगे तो कंसेप्ट ही क्लियर नहीं है और टेक्नोलॉजी का यूज हो रहा है तो according to me.
Thank you. Wonderful. Sarita ma'am. Sarita ma'am, you need to unmute yourself first.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
technology, the children using it in the right way, the tool has to be taken care of in what basically process they are using it. So can be multimedia, can be blog writing or whatever, but they should always be specific in their in using the tools
Okay.
when they are handling it.
जो भी चीज यूज कर रहे हैं, they need to be very specific and
Very specific about it.
ठीक
That
है.
is what I will say will be a takeaway.
Fair enough. That's wonderful. Paresh sir, if you're available.
Yeah, so basically, technology should be, whatever being used across should be beneficial. It should provide some learning. At the same time, it should be entertaining, because that's how entertainment and entertaining and knowledgeable would basically make the child use it in a proper manner.
Wonderful. Thank you. Vikas sir.
मुझे लगता है टेक्नोलॉजी का अब यूज जो होना चाहिए, पहले टू नो योरसेल्फ, पहले अपने बारे में जानो, उसके बाद उसके अकॉर्डिंग आप टेक्नोलॉजी पिक करो.
Wonderful. Narendra sir, are you available? Narendra sir, are you available? Okay, I believe that he's not available. So again, I would take this opportunity to thank you everyone for sharing this mind-boggling ideas and giving you a precious time to focus on this area. It's a very core area, I would rather say. And this things that one which we've discussed, I'm sure all the people who will listen to our webinar, they will definitely add some value to their life, and it will help them ultimately to improve the life of the students. So again, from the bottom of my heart, I thank you everyone and for the entire team of Inspiredvalley. And we would love to see you again in the next webinars. So thank you everyone.
Thank
Thank you.